A trash game realignment of elevated tastes. That is the anime we're going to be reviewing today. This is a first impressions of the anime, so I've watched just now the first 4 episodes of the anime. It's an anime done by a studio called Studio C2C that I haven't heard about. I was looking really quick at their roster for animes that they had made, and maybe there's one or another that I've seen, but I don't recognize any of the animes there. But maybe I should give them a watch because the quality of the animation and the art style is beautiful. It's a very good looking anime, but it's not without flaws. Is the reason I'm going to be reviewing this anime is because it's like at 4.9 stars on Crunchyroll. It came out about 1 or 2 months ago. I think the first season might be done. I'm not sure. There's a total of 9 episodes out. Again, I've watched until episode 4. For an anime like this, and especially for new animes coming out in this series, these are my first impressions of new animes coming out. I specifically don't want to watch like the entire first season or really get into the anime before I do this because it defeats the purpose of the series. Like if I'm going to do an in-depth analysis after I've done one of these, if I think an anime deserves it, like Free Run deserved it, then I'll do it. And in the case for Free Run, I just went straight for an analysis because I watched the whole thing in one sitting. It was so good. For anime like this, I will definitely finish watching it because it's entertaining, but I don't think it really warrants like an in-depth analysis. Maybe it does by the end, but I specifically don't want to get into it before I do these reviews because there's animes where you get attached to them as the story develops, like One Piece, Naruto. These animes that might start a little bit slow, but as you pile on and watch several episodes, you get really invested into it. You start really getting what they were going for. You start, you become almost attached, and it kind of clouds your judgment a little bit to recommend it to others. Like a lot of times I'll recommend an anime to someone, and it's like, yeah, you just got to get through the first 100 episodes, and then it gets good. And they're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But for you, it makes sense because it gets so good after, because you're invested, because it gets better as the anime goes by. That's not the goal of this series. Like I want to do like a first 3-4 episodes right off the bat of what I've just seen or saw just the other day to give like first impressions. I don't want to be attached to the anime and like have a bias by the time I'm done with the 10th episode to give you a review. So this anime is pretty entertaining. It's very fun. It's really funny. This anime is funny as hell. I watched it with my wife and she compared me a lot to the main character because apparently when I play video games I complain a lot. Probably especially because most of my time playing video games is League of Legends, so I'm always complaining. But I don't know, the protagonist is just relatable and funny. Pretty much the story is it's hard not to compare it to Sword Art Online. It's different than Sword Art Online because there's no stakes, at least as far as I can tell the first 3 episodes. There's nothing major happening, like the characters are not stuck in the game, and if they die in the game, they die in real life. Like there's nothing like that, no drama, no tension. It's funny and fun, that's more what it's going for, and that's fine. It's not the most immersive anime, but not every anime has to be that. Like a lot of shows, like sometimes you just want popcorn, sometimes you just want to relax, sometimes you don't want to see something as deep like or as disturbing as Goblin Slayer or as deep as Free Run, or sometimes you just want to like kick back. And this is one of those animes where it's definitely like a popcorn anime. It's entertaining, it's funny, the animations are gorgeous, the art is gorgeous, and again I'll say that again, it's funny. It's always, even the name, like a trash game realignment of elevated tastes, it just sounds like a fucking Reddit post. And the reason it's called that is because the main character is this guy that has a passion for playing the shittest games out there, right? He plays trash games. And he plays games that are very difficult and full of bugs and things like that. And this is like the first good game he's playing in a really long time. I don't know, I can relate to the main character a lot. He's a funny dude. The anime is not taking itself seriously. It's very funny a lot of times, and not like dumb booba humor, at least as far as what I've seen. Just generally like funny. When the anime does try to start taking itself seriously, it's a little cringe. But it's like cringe in a way that it almost makes it funny. Like there's a lot of points where the main character is talking like, we know this is not real life, and the anime constantly reminds you by showing them outside, laying in their bed with the goggles on, like it's not with the VR headset, it's not a real life. When they attack creatures, it shows the damage, it shows if it's a crit. So it's purposely showing us like, hey, don't forget this is just a video game kind of thing, different than Sword Art Online where you almost forget that they're in a video game because there's all these high stakes at play. This doesn't go for that. And when the main character does start taking himself too seriously, or he starts feeling himself, it's a little cringe. But it's almost like that's what they did on purpose. Like, this guy is just kind of, he overthinks things, and he over indulges, and over, like, he takes himself too seriously. And it's a little funny because we know it's just a video game, right? For whatever the fuck reason, this guy is always wearing this bird mask. There is, like, it's not like his character is like half bird or anything like that. It's not like there's a purpose to this. It's just to look goofy. Most of the anime, this guy is half naked wearing a bird mask. There's a few reasons for that, but it's just like, I don't know why this is the look they went for. I think they was just trying to add on, like, suspension of seriousness, laid back, and just trying to be entertaining and funny. I think that's what it's going for. I thought it was a little weird of a choice, but hey, I guess it makes it unique, right? So we followed this guy's playthrough. He's a very skilled player that's used to beating different games, and as I was watching this, I just wanted to turn on Elden Ring or Dark Souls. Give me kind of like that vibe a little bit in some points. And as he's playing, we kind of get his perspective from a player that, wears no armor, just plays super high skill characters, does a character where he maxes luck to get more crit. And combat scenes are very fun. Like, this has been entertaining so far, but it's not something that I would say, like, oh, anime of the year for sure, or one of the deepest, most thoughtful, beautiful, and insightful things I've ever watched. No, it's like, this anime is like a giant shitpost. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's not trying to be serious. It doesn't want you to take it serious. When it does try to be serious, it's cringe, and it's just mostly funny and entertaining. And I think that that's fine. Not everything has to be serious. Not everything has to be, have a million fucked up things happening to the main character at all times. Not everything has to be that deep, And this is one of that. Sometimes you just want to turn off your brain and have fun. This is definitely the anime for that. And I won't spoil too much more of the story. It's hard not to compare it to Sword Art Online again because it's a VR MMORPG kind of anime, and with no stakes. That's the difference. It almost like, it's hard not to, we keep wanting things to be Sword Art Online, and I think that anime, I'll do an analysis of that anime and talk about it one day because it's so good. This is not that, and it's not trying to be that either. It doesn't want you to take it seriously. It wants you to laugh, kick back, and have a good time. And I think it accomplished that. I think it really does that. I don't think this is something that, it has cute characters, it has cute animation, it's good looking, the combat scenes are pretty good, but I wouldn't invest more than, like, watching the first season of this. It's all right. I think that's what I would say about this anime. It's an all right anime where it's just straight up funny and entertainment. And one thing I will say that the anime has going on for it is the fact that because nobody can really die, it's not like, again, hate to keep comparing it to Sword Art Online, but because there's no real stakes at hand, it does give some sort of some freedom to where the main character can lose as well, and he can die in the game. Because, right, if you're just going to kill out the protagonist, the anime's over. In this case, because he doesn't really die, he can respawn with a few debuffs and problems. It actually enhances the story when he dies, so it's cool because it doesn't feel like he's always going to win. Like, he's not Kirito, he's not this unbeatable badass, he does lose sometimes. So that is one thing that's cool. There's a lot of shows where obviously the main character can never lose because if he loses, he dies, right? So you kind of always know the outcome of things. This does keep it interesting because you never know what's going to happen to him. So if you think that this might be something that you're interested in, you want something that you can maybe watch with the kids, maybe watch with your wife, something that doesn't have anything too serious going on, nobody's going to get traumatized. It's not Goblin Slayer. It's not, like I said, it's not deep like Frieren. Nothing super like touching happens like Naruto where somebody dies they were really attached to. There's nothing like that. If you want something that's just relaxing and entertaining, this might be for you. And if you like that theme, then now is becoming very popular. I've seen a few animes coming out that have that theme of the VR games, and I play a lot of VR games, so for me it's kind of neat to see it, but because I can relate because I play games, but obviously our technology is not nearly anywhere near this, but it's still kind of cool. You can still kind of relate. There's a lot of VR games, if you play VR, where the movements don't align. Like when he's talking about trash games, there are a lot of trash VR games. There's a lot of games where pairing, moving your weapon, there are a lot of glitches, like things don't work well. And you would think it's like the VR technology and where the VR technology is at, but it's really not. It's the game itself. Because then there's other games. Gosh, the only thing the one that comes to mind right now is Contractors. Like Contractors for the VR on Steam is so good. So there's games that can accomplish a level of immersion and realism like that, where you got to cock the gun, you got to reload the gun, you got to actually load the bullets into the drums of the revolvers, you got to aim down the sight, closing one of your eyes. Like the technology is there. It's just that most studios and game producers, game developers have not been able to achieve that. And then there's games that are just, they look very silly and you can barely do anything. The motions are not realistic. So when he's reviewing trash games and things like that, I can kind of relate, and I like VR games. So maybe the subject appeals a little more to me than for the average person if you don't play VR games. But the whole theme is interesting. I do hope that this doesn't get overused. And because here's the thing, like with an anime like this, with a premise like this, it's either going to be trying to be Sword Art Online, so it's always now destined to have that comparison where it's going to be super serious because there's some sort of real world stake happening, right? Or it's going to be total suspension of seriousness, and it's going to be more of a comedy anime like this one. It would be interesting to see someone try to innovate and do something different, which that's fine. The way this anime was done, it's fine that it was more towards a comedy, but I miss Sword Art Online, and I don't think the Sword Art Online had enough episodes and it was developed enough. And maybe one day I'll get into that because I read a lot and studied a lot why the anime got rushed at certain points, why, basically the studio ran out of money and they were on a deadline, right? So even though the anime was very good, there's a lot of things that weren't well developed and it could have gone on for longer, and we could have seen more character and story building that we didn't see. So I would almost love to see like a reboot of Sword Art Online now that the studio has made their fame and their money to where they could actually dedicate their time to that. So that's a separate video. This is nothing like that. Again, this is very comical and funny. And I hope that this trope is starting to get a little bit overused. I've been seeing, again, a lot of animes that are this VR protagonist playthrough, and I don't know, it's going to get old very soon if they don't change it up and if they don't start doing something, coming up with different ideas. I don't know, but for now, we haven't seen that many of them just yet to where it's that overused, and honestly, the humor is to my taste. So I would recommend giving it a watch, see if you like it. You will know if you will like this the first 1 or 2 episodes. It doesn't change a whole lot after that. And you'll see right away if it's for you or not. If you like this video, if you want to see more, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. I will keep doing this. Just to let you know, this channel does cover a wide array of topics and different things, even though the main focus is going to be anime related. So I recommend using the playlist feature. I do videos where I do more in-depth analysis of like a whole anime that I've watched, and then I'm trying to do something like this a little more often, where we take a look at the new animes that are coming out and I tell you what they are about, what I think about them, if I would recommend the watch or not, and if so, why, and for what type of audience. So look through the playlist. There might be more videos out that are covering these type of things, and let me know what you think. Thank you.